This video shows the proper steps in repairing the inner pontoon bladder on your Bucks Bags pontoon boat. Using the valve wrench, loosen the valve from its seat. Please keep in mind that the pontoon must be aired up as much as possible in order to hold back pressure on the valve. Once you have the valve loose, depress the valve stem so the air will come out at a faster rate. Next, remove the zipper lock and unzip the pontoon, exposing the bladder. With your hand holding the bladder tight just behind the valve, unscrew the valve and remove it. Next, remove the entire bladder from the pontoon and lay it out on a flat surface. If you already know where your leak is coming from, you may omit this next step. If not, you will need to screw the valve back into the bladder and air it up in order to find the leak. A great way to search for a small air leak is to spray soapy water over the bladder until you notice bubbles forming. Once you have located the leak, dry the area completely and open the urethane repair kit. Using the supplied alcohol swab, clean the area around the hole thoroughly. Next, apply the urethane patch directly over the hole in the pontoon and let it sit for 15 or 20 minutes. After the patch has had time to set properly, you may now begin to reinstall the bladder into the pontoon cover. Begin by depressing the valve stem and letting all the air out of the bladder. Once empty, lay the bladder on top of the pontoon cover with a smaller portion towards the bottom and the longer portion on the top. Next, insert the valve into the opening on the pontoon cover and screw it into the threading on the bladder. Tighten the valve as much as you can with your hand only at this time. Next, tuck the entire bladder into the pontoon cover as shown. When at the tips, you will need to slightly fold them over and tuck them into the corners. This will allow for proper inflation of the bladder inside the pontoon cover. Once the bladder is completely inside of the cover, zip up the pontoon and reattach the zipper lock ring. You are now ready to reinflate your pontoon. Please be sure to return the valve stem to the closed position prior to inflating it by giving it a quarter turn so it will pop up. Once inflated, be sure to fully tighten the valve with the valve wrench. This will ensure a completed seal and will prevent any air leak around the valve seat. Thank you for using Bucks Bags, and remember that all Bucks Bags products are proudly made in the USA.